Everyone asks me what the most profitable item to buy and resell is. And the answer is actually a little more complicated and simple at the same time. It's not just dumbbells, it's not just weights, it's not power blocks, it's not Bowflex. Those are all great and sometimes included in this, but the most profitable item that you can buy is a bulk gym pickup. In the last 2 weeks alone, I've picked up 2, and on both trips, I've made some huge profits. Bulk gym pickups are great because typically the person selling them wants to get rid of this stuff. Maybe they want their garage back, maybe they want their home office back. Their significant other has been hassling them for about a month. I'm sick of this collecting dust and you not using it. Get this out of my house. Or sometimes they might just be moving, which was the case in one of these examples. In part 1, we're gonna be highlighting one of these trips and what I look for typically in listings and why sometimes they can really fly under the radar. And in both the examples today, that was the exact case and how I was able to secure these deals. Let's go ahead and get into it. Just as a quick reminder, I am a small, new YouTube channel. I would love it if you'd subscribe. In this channel, I'm teaching you exactly what to buy, what to look for, how much you should be paying, how much you can sell the items for, and how you can build your entire home gym for free. Let's go ahead and get into it. So with this first listing, it really underscores the importance of making sure to look through all the photos in a listing. When I first clicked on this, it says dumbbells here. You see a dumbbell set, and it's 5 to 50 cast iron for $500, which if you looked at our pricing guide, we usually pay under 60 cents or 50 cents a pound for those. So that is not quite cutting it there. They might sell for that by themselves, but if you're trying to make money on it, that's not the ticket. But if you read this listing a little closer, it says also with 2-inch Olympic plates. So when we scroll to the right here and look at the additional photos, you see an entire Olympic weight set here. Furthermore, some kind of vintage plates, not super valuable, but vintage legacy plates, 50-pound Olympic style, which is pretty rare. And just in abundance of weights. That looks like there's 645s there in the photos. It does not specify in the description, but he says 500 takes everything. And suddenly, if you remember our cast iron weights and dumbbells, we buy those for under 60 to 50 cents a pound, and suddenly we have definitely hit that metric. So we immediately messaged this person and said we could pick them up right away. It took about 40 minutes to get back to us, and once again, I had kind of accepted the fact that I'm probably not going to get this deal. That's the thing with these really great deals. They sell extremely fast, so you need to be ready to act fast. But the good news is he did respond, and he turned out to live about 14 minutes from my house. Those are the best when you know you're gonna make over $300 and it's only a 14-minute drive. Chef's kiss. So we ended up driving over there, picking up all this equipment, 5 to 50 pounds. He also had an adjustable bench. And then there was also something, he called it, I think he said it looked like a torture device. I couldn't really disagree. It was a standard weight holder, which we fit in and put in here. I drove all this equipment home. Sometimes the hardest part is just unloading all the equipment. This took me about 10 minutes to get everything out of my truck. It's quite a bit. Hey, I'm always looking to get some extra steps, so I don't mind doing that. I think it's kind of therapeutic. This is kind of looking at everything, and the great thing about buying just entire home gyms is typically there's 1 or 2 ticket items that once you sell those, you're already profitable. Then everything else is just additional profit. So in this case, we looked at the 5 to 50-pound dumbbell set, but I sold those for $375 without the stand. I haven't sold the stand yet. I still have that listed. Already though, we are $125 away from being profitable, which takes us to our next item, which was that legacy kind of vintage weightlifting set. That was 270 pounds. I had that listed for 300. Somebody offered me 250. Sometimes when somebody does express, he said he really was just building his home gym and he really liked kind of vintage plates, so he wanted them. I like being able to sell to someone who I know wants those weights. But right there, with that sale of that additional 250 plus the 375, we are at, don't make me do math, $625. So that means we're already at $125 worth of profits. And we still have a bunch of additional Olympic plates. We had 2 sets of 45s. I ended up selling those for $130. Some nice vintage deep dish 25s sold for an extra 60 bucks. And then I had just some like miscellaneous old plates that were pretty rusty and beat up. I sold those for $40, which was a steal. There was also just 125 there, which If you have a single of a weight, it kind of throws everything off. But there was also an extra set of 30-pound dumbbells, which sold for $40. The adjustable bench also sold for 40 bucks. And then the misplaced death trap thing that he referred to as, I sold that for 10 bucks. Somebody wanted it, so gave them a good deal on that, 10 bucks there. That brings us to a grand total of $945, which is $445 of profit. Plus I still have a pretty heavy duty 2-tier rack that's gonna sell for at least 50 bucks. And this cool vintage spin lock barbell, which I have literally never seen before on a 2-inch barbell. Have that listed for 150 bucks because it's more of a niche, rare item. Once those things sell, we'll be well over the $500 profit margin for this trip, which is pretty awesome. In part 2 of this bulk gym pickup series, we're going to be discussing vehicle limitations. Sometimes it is tough to fit things, and we're gonna see that in this next pickup firsthand, and how it almost cost me the whole trip. We're gonna go over again just generally what things sell for and why it really flew under the radar for this next example. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. I'll be posting part 2 next Thursday. Looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time.